Today has been a day. Um, I think the past 72 hours, this ever since the start of this war, it has been something from the comics, to say the least. Um, I don't understand it. I'm learning the economy. I'm learning the government. I'm learning how things work. I feel like as tax-paying citizens, as a tax-paying citizen, you need to understand how your money works. You need to understand how it operates. And also, I'm attempting to learn how to trade futures. Well, that's something in itself. But definitely the last 72 hours have been something crazy, and today has been also exceptionally crazy. The Nasdaq looks like it's bulletproof. I don't know, nothing short than Armageddon seems to be the only silver bullet to this market, because historically, I think anybody, if you do a little bit of research, you will see that anytime there's conflict, geopolitical conflict, especially when it involves oil, there's usually a pretty big pullback, or a substantial one for that matter. Okay, a noticeable pullback. But we had a dip, a little dip, and it just rallied. I thought it was gonna be something, dead cat bounce, just a little, little something like I'm gonna climb higher and I'm gonna jump even farther than you thought I would. But no, 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 no. That wasn't what that was at all today. Oil prices are flirting with $80 a barrel, if I'm not mistaken, the last time I checked. And from my research, the impact of that is manufacturers are going to pass on the additional cost. So whatever additional cost that the price of oil goes up to, and however it affects manufacturers, they're going to pass that to us, the consumer. So that puts everything in such a sticky situation. But when you back away from, zoom out, so to speak, and you get to gaze at the full picture, or just get a better vantage point there, you'll see that I feel like this all was orchestrated, man. Like this all was, they knew what they were about to do. From the Venezuela, the fracking, I believe is the terminology they use. They're digging oil and producing oil in the United States, of course. I think we're not as reliant on other countries anymore when it comes to oil, at least for now. We've built a buffer, so to speak. So moving forward, they can do things like this for a while. This can go on for a while, and the United States will be just fine for the most part, of course. But the economy, it's a hot economy. It's definitely a hot economy. The data that came out today, I believe that the ADP, automatic data processing, estimated change in the number of employed people during previous month, excluding the farming industry and government. So, as you can see there, if actual comes, it's actual greater than forecast. It's good for currency. That definitely came in. It was 63,000, and that was way over what was expected. way over what was expected. So, they projected 50K and it came out 63. That further ramped everything up from this morning. When this started, that just incited a whole rally. Just from that, the PMI followed with 56.1. That also beat expectations. Let's see here. That also beat expectations. Yep. So everything was a perfect storm for NQ today. When we came around this area, this was the area from early this morning. I believe this was an area of interest that I feel like was definitely a psychological level. You see the little hesitation here, and then market is open. It popped through, and market is open now. So let's see how it proceeds. But definitely, it was a spectacle. It was nothing short of a spectacle. But there's plenty of meat on the bone to the downside. I feel like we're trading headlines more than fundamentals. I think fundamentals are a thing of the past. I don't see that really holding up, waiting for a perfect setup. And I'm just learning this, but I just feel like there's no such thing as a perfect setup anymore, or waiting for these A+ setups, because one tweet, one headline, and it all falls apart. So I would encourage anybody and everybody, what I'm doing personally is I'm just trading small. Just trade small. I can always protect how much I lose, but it's not a limit to how much I can win, so that's my goal, just protecting what I have, growing what I have, and continuing to build on that. This Operation Epic Fury, it's a lot of smoke on the horizon with that, and we don't know how that's going to escalate. I personally don't feel like it's going to de-escalate anytime soon. So, we could as well at a later time see a significant pullback from whatever metastasizes itself from that. But as for right now, man, it could keep, the way it's looking, it could keep trucking to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised, because this is like the upside down. This is Stranger Things in real life, the finance edition. But it was crazy. It's just crazy, because we were in like a 600 point free fall, and then all of a sudden, boom, a few headlines hit, a few data points dropped, and we ate it back up. And everything overseas, it's not like it stopped. It's not like there's a ceasefire, to my knowledge, at least at this time, or any kind of deal on the table. But somehow that was enough for NQ to decide to rally. And I'm just speaking about NQ in particular. That's what I'm trading right now. So that's why that's the focus. But I know gold is doing something funky too, but I don't know much about it to really speak about it. I'm learning as I go. So this is a way to encourage me to learn, and hopefully others will grow with me as I go here. But the 25,000 mark, I feel like that was definitely the line in the sand. And from my limited knowledge, I feel like they definitely have to defend that line. They definitely have to defend. That's going to get tested. It usually does. That's gonna get tested. That's gonna get tested, and they're gonna have to hold it strongly. But if the right news hits, then we know how that's gonna go. But bottom line, we're in a tug-of-war right now. It's anybody's game. There's no real clear direction on how this can go. Nobody can predict this. If anybody is following a lot of the trading gurus and everything, even they're having a hard time. If they're honest, they're definitely having a hard time. Everybody for the most part is having a hard time trying to navigate these markets. So of course, exercise caution as best as you can. Just stay nimble, be ready to pivot with the news, and just protect your accounts so that you could trade again another day. That's the goal. Retain in your brain, sustain to maintain. That's the goal. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to watch the market for a little while and see if I can pull something out of it. If there's no opportunity, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to try again tomorrow. So until then, appreciate y'all for checking in with me. Peace.